Is that on? Oh, shoot. I've been the navigator for this whole trip. We've been going down Sylvania Road in Ohio, just outside of Toledo, and we've hit a Salvation Army, a Goodwill. Now we're at a St. Vincent DePaul's, and we will be continuing our trip, but let's check this one out.
I'm going to go in and see what I can find to flip for a profit. Oh, they're cute little pieces. Oh my gosh, they are so heavy.
Oh my God, there's so long right there. Oh, don't worry, don't worry. You are not here.
This is a cute raccoon figurine, but I didn't put it in my cart. Teddy bears are so cute. Wow, oh, that's cast iron. I'm not sure if this is a fresh cart or not. I kind of like this deviled egg plate. It actually hung on the wall. They wanted $1.48 for it, and it had a different price tag from a different thrift store on the back. I think this is Prince's house. This was Prince's house, and it was adorable looking, and they had a bunch of them for $2.15 each. But they don't go for a lot, so I did leave them behind. I like the color and design on this particular above vase, so I took a closer look at it. This is an Anchor Hocking bud vase for $2.15, but they don't go for a lot, so I did leave it behind.
How's your day going, miss?
Good.
I cannot be more excited. Check this out. This vintage antique sink. They want $80 for it. But little storage. You would have to obviously put the piping in and everything for a faucet. But even the mirrors right behind here, me being a shabby chicer, would love to just take this whole piece and completely change the color of it. I'm thinking kind of a maybe a light blue or a teal, but maybe you have a better idea of color. Of course, then it matters what color you're painting the walls with it. But love this. I think this kind of stuff is coming back into modern. I just love that they're all different colors. Really cool in an office.
This vintage glass ashtray was only 99 cents, but it was chipped. So far, this is the only thing in my cart.
I found this egg carton, I guess it is, and they're all individual, but when you stack them, they just sit on top of each other, I would think, crushing the eggs. And then it has these tabs on one side. I can't figure out for the life of me what the purpose of this is. There's 4 of them. How would this even work without destroying the eggs? I already have their are out. Oh my gosh. Cut, redo, stop. Okay. I already have the GPS up to our next destination of a thrift store. So on to the next location.
But I want to tell you that I spent a whole $5. That's with rounding up.
Wait.
I got 2 items.
Ooh.
I will show them to you.
They're in the back
as part of the haul, but yes, we are going to keep moving along and keep hitting up thrift stores.
We're at 2:45-ish.
Yes.
Let's go till about like 8:45-ish.
Yeah, we'll see. Before I get to the haul, let's talk about my Niknax sales. I did another late night Niknax show and it was successful. I had people bidding on items. I also had people get things out of the buy it now, especially if they bought one item via the auction, then they went into the buy it now and bought another item. Some of them bought 3 items. So let me pull together the items that sold. The first item is right here, this little girl right here. This sold. I'm going to push this back here. Oh, this little doggy sold. That cruel picture back here, the embroidery picture. How beautiful is that? I just love that. I'm so glad that sold. Up here, the little dog figurine sold. Put him down there. And then back up here, hopefully I'm not moving the camera too fast. This sold also. I'm going to have to move things around a bit. Okay. I also sold one of the trinket boxes. Let me count up how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 2 more items. Oh, right here's one of them. I'm running out of room. Okay. Let me move things around and I'll show you the rest of the items that sold. Had to come over to the cupboard to get this item. Sold the cat, the Talavera cat. Okay, now I have all 9 items. The 2 dog figurines, the Hazel Atlas, the trinket box, another Hazel Atlas, the Westmoreland, the Talavera cat, the ceramic hobbyist little caroler, and then the picture in the background there. Earlier I called this Hazel Atlas. This is actually anchor hocking. I kind of knew I was wrong when I was saying it, so I wanted to correct that real quick. My total cost of goods for all of these items that sold was $30.82. And when I add it all up together, I sold them for $100 plus shipping. When I was showing this needlework art during my live show, I got a lot of questions like, oh, do you have more of them? Because I was saying I did. And I was like, yes, but I can't go get them and they're not listed. So I got to grab all of my artwork, my needlework ones anyways, and maybe a few others. There's some hand-painted ones and things like that. I'm going to be grabbing all of that and get that all listed. So being that Niknax is a fairly new marketplace, I had bought things and listed them and cross-posted them to the other platforms, but now I have to kind of redo that work to get them listed into this new marketplace, which I don't mind at all. I am so excited. I want to have more and more of these live sales. I've been doing them late night. I might do one in the afternoon. I like to be spontaneous. I love doing it as a pop-up, and that is kind of my plan. I think what I will do when I want to do all of the artwork is move this out of the way and then have the artwork go the whole way around the table. I just have so many ideas, so much work to do. I got to get on it. The good thing about some of this is it's not going to like 9 different places. Like one person bought 2 items or 3 items. I'll still have to wrap them up individually, but they're going to be like fewer boxes, but got to get that all done too. Let's get back to the haul. I don't want to leave you guys hanging. Here is the 2 items. My very small haul from the St. Vincent DePaul. I love this one, not just because it's teddy bears, but it's cast iron. It's a doorstop. It's so heavy. Paid $2.15 for it. It says made in Taiwan. This is definitely going to be in one of my live sales. I've been doing most of my live sales on Niknax, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't do one on Whatnot. I go back and forth between the two. I just been focusing on Niknax at the moment. And then my other item I got is a vintage frog. This is the clear glass one. I kept seeing people selling these in their live sales, like one person after another. And I'm like, oh, wow, I've never seen one of those before. And then I go thrifting in Ohio, and there it was. I almost didn't see it because just like it's blending in with this, it was sitting on like a white shelf. The cashier even asked me, what is it? And I'm like, it's a flower frog. She still didn't know what that was. So it's funny how many people, like if they're clearing out grandma's house or packing up mom and dad's things, would not know what this is and would probably chuck it. Eventually, these are going to become very rare. It's $1.89. At the low end, these sell for like $6, and at the high end, they sell for around $16. Now, there's larger ones than these. There's oval ones. There's all different shapes and sizes and colors. This is something to be a clear one. So I'm not sure what I'm going to get for this one. Same with this doorstop. They're hand painted all the same, but they're all in slightly different conditions in terms of how bright they are. Now, I have not tried to clean this up or anything like that. I don't expect it to get much brighter. It's just the way it's going to look because it's cast iron. I just love that it's painted in teddy bears. Just so cute. At the low end, these sell for like $8. And at the high end, they're at $23. So for my two items, I have no idea at all what I'm going to get for them. That's just the way it goes, and I'm okay with that. I sold one of my plushes on eBay, but he fell down, and he's not over there with them. If I reach through, he's right here. Let me take him over where I can show you him and tell you how much I paid for him and what I sold him for. I got this fawn, this giant, it looks like a squishmallow, but it isn't. See that H? That stands for Highlights for Children. I got this at the bins. I was at the bins with Carol from My Blessed Nest. I was traveling to Pittsburgh to meet up with my friend Sherry to go thrifting there. And I stopped and had lunch with Carol, and then we went thrifting. We had so much fun. And so I took a chance and I bought a bunch of Squishmallows, some other ones, and then this one, which turned out to be this Highlights one. It weighs a little over a pound. So I paid around $2 for it. And I sold it for $25 plus shipping. I actually had it listed up for $30-some, I think. And that was the offer I got, the $25, and I took it. I got good news and bad news. Let's start with the bad news first. They're back. They got returned. The person returned them. You know, eBay issued the return right away. They sent them back to me. I refunded the money. They're already relisted. However, one of the plates, when it got returned to me, now has a chip on the bottom of it. But I went ahead and processed the return. I'm not going to fret about it. I threw in a load of laundry. Going to do laundry today, and then I'm going to go back up and list some more items. And the good news is I sold something. Let's go get that. It's a bit dark in my closet here, but this coat right here is the one that I sold. This is a really heavy, classic style coat by Jones of New York. It's extra large. It's got the repaired button loop. If you remember, I bought this when I was in Pittsburgh with my friend Sherry, Sherry's Fab Finds, and the button loop was broke. I fixed it, but I did disclose that that was a repair because I don't know how long that's going to hold. It might need someone like more professional to put a new one on there. And the other thing that was, I'm kind of not wrong with it, but it has a mark. Very hard to see, but there's this mark on the back of the sleeve. See that right there? So I disclosed that. The rest of the coat is just awesome looking. It has a huge hood on it and this detail right here. I paid $10 for the coat and I sold it for $42.07 plus shipping. I temporarily changed up my area where I do my live sales. I took away the giant tiered tray, which works out perfect. I love having that for my live sales, but I wanted to showcase the rest of my cross stitch pictures that I have. I sold the one that was cruel, and the rest of these are all cross stitch. And somebody had asked me, hey, do you have any more, when they bought the cruel one? I'm like, I don't have any more of the cruel type, but I have a bunch of these other ones. So I thought, let me get them out, put them all up here. And then I grabbed other items. So I added some new items to the show. A lot of times I just move some of the items in my shows to the Buy It Now. So I did another late night show on Niknax.net. I started at 10:30 and I went to after midnight. I just kept going because people just kept coming in. Sometimes there would only be like 3 or 4 people. Then it was like 10 people. Then it'd be 5 people. But as people kept popping in and out, I just kept running items. And I sold a bunch. Let me show you what I sold. I sold this one back here. And that's one of my more recent finds, as you guys know. Let me put up the rest of the items that sold. This Santa Claus, this hobbyist Santa Claus. It's a planter or a flower vase. It's technically like a flower vase, really. It is just beautiful. Love all the detail on it. So I sold that. I also sold this out of my Buy It Now area. I sold, this is also a hobbyist piece. This is a vase with like the forest on there and a little cabin. Then I also sold this trinket box, this trinket box, and this trinket box. For my 7 items that sold on my live sale, my total cost of goods is $14.32, and I sold them for a grand total of $77 plus shipping. Some of the buyers bought multiple items. For instance, the person who bought these are all going to the same buyer. She is buying all trinket dishes for Christmas gifts this year. She lives in an apartment building with, I think, like senior living type of situation. And she said there's 45 residents and she wants to give each one a trinket dish. I have showed these trinket dishes in some of my live sales, but then I put them in the Buy It Now area. But I had them over behind me when I was doing my live sale, and she mentioned, do you have trinket dishes? And I said, yeah, I have a bunch of trinket dishes. So I ran over, brought them all over, and told her that I couldn't run them as auctions, but that she could look at them in the Buy It Now. There was pictures and descriptions of each one, but I did show her and tell her a little bit about each one. This one's so cute. And she ended up buying 3 of them. She said she had already bought a bunch, and then I mentioned another reseller, my friend Brianna from Primrose Collectibles. She always has a lot of trinket dishes, and I mentioned that to this buyer, and she's like, oh, I think I already bought some from her. I said, well, she keeps finding new ones, so always be checking out her listed items and look to see when she has her live shows. So that's kind of fun.